Oh yeah, the Philadelphia Eagles win the first game of the season. They are 1-0. They are undefeated. The Dallas Cowboys lose the first game of the season. They are defeated. They have 0 wins. They are 0% on the season. Listen, man, I'm gonna keep it a buck though. I'm gonna keep it a buck, man. The Cowboys should have won that game. The Dallas Cowboys should have won that game because they got bailed out by a lightning storm. Right, and then after all the momentum was sucked out of the building, they had every opportunity in the world to win that game, and nobody could catch the damn ball. I thought the Eagles, after the lightning storm, weren't very good. I thought they were way too conservative, and I thought they almost shot themselves in the foot, and they almost lost the game. But let's call it what it is. The Cowboys got bailed out by a lightning storm, okay? Because the beginning of the second quarter, when Miles Sanders fumbled that ball, it was instant karma. It was the football gods saying, we're not going to let this fly. You know, because the throw over the middle by Prescott into the end zone to the tight end, and Blankenship lets up. He doesn't even try to hit him. I mean, back in my day, back in Brian Dawkins' time, back in real football times, that dude would have got his helmet knocked into the second row, and it would have been celebrated. But you're not even allowed to hit the guy anymore. Now, not only are you not allowed to hit the guy, Blankenship pulls up, doesn't even hit him, and the dude runs into Blankenship with his face, and they call it unnecessary roughness. One of the worst calls I've ever seen in my entire life watching football, and immediately, the very next play, Miles Sanders coughs it up. Now, first of all, you deserve that for playing Miles Sanders because he's Miles Sanders. He had one run on the left side where he broke through a hole. His breakaway speed was a flat 0. It should have been a touchdown. He's the slowest running back I've ever seen in my life. It was unbelievable. Zach Bond caught up to him from behind, not even running full speed. And then you gave it to him again. And then you threw the one over the middle that was called unnecessary roughness. That was the worst call I've ever seen. In the very next play, Miles Sanders fumbles the ball. Now, the Eagles couldn't get a stop on the Cowboys the first how many drives? They went right down the field. I still didn't feel like the Cowboys were dominating the game or anything like that. Like the first couple of drives was CeeDee Lamb beat Adoree Jackson on the right side for a long play in the first drive. And then the second drive was a Cooper DeJean pass interference call. It was really a couple of plays that made those drives for the Cowboys in the beginning of the game. And then the unnecessary roughness in the end zone. And that fumble was the first time the Eagles really got momentum. You never felt like the Cowboys were about to take over the game or anything. It really felt like the Eagles were just kind of dicking around and were at any point about to blow them out of the water and about to run away with the game. And when that fumble happened, that's exactly what was about to happen. The very next possession, the Eagles were going to score, and it was going to be a one-sided game from there on out. But the Cowboys got bailed out by a lightning storm. Like, what are the odds? Is Jerry Jones out here controlling the weather? I don't know. He's got all the money in the world. I don't know who he's paying. Hey, cue the lightning storm. We need a momentum change. And then you get an hour and 15 minutes of sitting around, and they come back out, and all the momentum is switched. I thought that totally took the air out of the sails for the Eagles, which isn't an excuse, but after how was the game 24-20 when the lightning storm hit and the game ended 24-20? I thought the Eagles were just so lackluster after that lightning storm, and it was a snooze fest. It's 12:30 right now. It's after midnight. It was hard to watch the end of that game. Just three and out. I thought playing way too conservative, but at the same time, Jalen Hurts did what Jalen Hurts does. He wins football games. You know, you call him a game manager all you want. He is a game manager. And he's very, 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 very good at managing the game. He's not a guy that's going to go out there and throw for 5 touchdowns. He's not a guy that's going to go out there and air it out left and right. But it's because he's never concerned with his own stats. He's never concerned with what it looks like. He's never trying to be a superstar. He's never trying to put the spotlight. He's just trying to do what he has to do to give his team the best chance to win the game. And number one thing that people don't talk about with Jalen Hurts enough is the fact that he doesn't turn the ball over in crucial situations. Once, twice, 3 times throughout an entire season. He'll have like a 3-game stretch where the turnovers pile up a little bit. But for the most part, Jalen Hurts protects the football, and he just does what has to be done to win the game. That's exactly what he did. And even the last drive, getting the first down by QB keeper up the middle, and the game's over. So shout out to Jalen Hurts for being the game manager that he is and managing the game all the way to a victory. Now, I say the Cowboys should have won the game because Dak Prescott, after that lightning storm, was lights out. And I didn't think he was bad really in the first half either. And I think Eagles fans want to trash Dak Prescott all the time because we hate the Cowboys and we want to talk trash. And Dak Prescott folds in the playoffs all the time. He's like the Joel Embiid of the NFL. In the regular season, though, there's been seasons where Dak Prescott led the entire league in passing. Like he can light you up when he's feeling it. And I thought he was feeling it tonight. But down towards the end of the game, nobody could catch the ball. CeeDee Lamb, one of the best receivers in the game, 2 huge drops down the stretch. One, an absolute dart into traffic by Dak that hit him in the hands, and he dropped it on a 3rd down. And then, the last one really basically put the nail in the coffin for the Cowboys. Another dime over the top. It was a diving catch, but it still hit him in the hands, and he dropped that one. There was another drop on the right side by a tight end by the sideline. So Dak Prescott, was doing what he needed to do to try to deliver the victory for the Cowboys after the Eagles lost all their momentum after the lightning storm, and the Cowboys just couldn't catch the damn ball. But I thought the Eagles, it wasn't exciting. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't flashy. But they just did what they needed to do to win the game. And from the jump, I mean, between Hurts running the ball up the middle on the QB keepers and Saquon Barkley being totally unstoppable, the Dallas Cowboys couldn't stop them. They had 144 rushing yards at halftime. If it wasn't for the lightning storm that changed everything, that would have continued. What was their total? What's their total rushing yards? 144 at halftime. They only finished the game with 158. It's wild how much momentum that lightning storm took out of the Eagles. What other notes did I have? We're going to talk about the Jalen Carter spitgate because Jalen Carter's an idiot, and I'm absolutely blown away. I've never seen a guy get ejected from a game 6 seconds in, especially the first game of the season. But as my camera froze, and now I got to restart it, and that kind of threw me off. Sorry about that. Instant karma after Blankenship penalty. We already talked about that. Hurts had a throw in the first half down the middle of the field to Dotson. That was a dart, and I feel like that was the only time he threw the ball. I don't even know if I remember Jalen Hurts throwing the ball again outside of that one throw down the middle of the field to Jahan Dotson. Now, Dallas Goedert had 7 receptions. A lot of those were little checkdowns and little 2 yards over the middle and things like that. Saquon had 4 catches out of the flat. Devontae had 3 catches for 16 on some little hook routes. I mean, 3 for 16, bro. That's an average of what? 5 yards a catch? And A.J. Brown had 1 reception in the game, the one on the left side there in the 4th quarter. That's pretty wild. So the Cowboys' strategy was clearly, try to smother A.J. Brown, make Jalen Hurts beat you in other ways. And Jalen Hurts beat you in other ways. He had 62 rushing yards. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. He just gets it done. Adoree Jackson. I didn't keep up with a whole lot of what was going on in the offseason because I'm the Sixers guy. I never even saw this guy. I didn't even know who he was. I look it up. They signed him to a 1-year deal as a veteran corner after Darius Slay and the other dude left. But Adoree Jackson, oh my God, bro, this guy needs to hang it up. This guy was getting smoked by CeeDee Lamb in the first quarter. Couldn't even come close to sticking to him. And then they switch him onto somebody else, and he gets beat again in the first quarter. He was getting his ass kicked the entire game. Adoree Jackson was absolutely terrible. I don't know what the Eagles are going to do about that. It doesn't seem like they have many other options outside of him right now. But Adoree Jackson was terrible. Quinion Mitchell dropped an interception in the fourth quarter that basically would have ended the game. So there's that too. CeeDee Lamb had the two big drops. And what everybody's talking about is, well, first of all, I wanted to mention the penalty on Nolan Smith Jr. So the Blankenship penalty was terrible. The Nolan Smith Jr. taunting penalty was atrocious. I mean, one of the worst I've ever seen. Like, he made a tackle in the backfield, stood up and flexed, and got a penalty for flexing. I've never seen anything like that before in my life. Now let's look at what they're calling spitgate, because Jalen Carter, I've never seen a dude get ejected 6 seconds in to the first game of the season. And Jalen Carter's really, the absence of Jalen Carter's really the reason the Eagles had such a tough time stopping the run up the middle in the first quarter. Javonte Williams had like 35 yards rushing in the first quarter, I feel like. Actually, I feel like he had more than that in the first quarter. He had 54 yards total, but I can't look by quarter. Dude, I feel like he had 42 of those in the first quarter. So the Eagles adjusted and got it together after that. But the Jalen Carter being out definitely affected what was going on in the first half of that game. And he spit on Dak Prescott and got ejected immediately, 6 seconds into the game. But now there's a spitgate because Dak Prescott spit first. Look. Dak Prescott spits on the ground right in front of Jalen Carter and then nods at him, smiles at him, egging him on, getting under his skin. And this is the problem with Jalen Carter, man. You got to control yourself, bro. So you walk up to Dak then and spit on him and get ejected? That's exactly what he wanted to do. That is so weak-minded and immature for you to fall for that, for you to take that bait. He spits on the ground in front of you and nods and smiles at you, and you take the bait and walk up right in front of an official and spit on him and get ejected from the game? Come on, Jalen Carter. You got to be smarter than that. But Dak Prescott did spit first. And so I don't think there should be a suspension for Jalen Carter. And if there is a suspension for Jalen Carter, there should be a suspension for Dak Prescott too. I think this ends up being nothing. But yeah, in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't an exciting finish. But Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles did what they needed to do to win the game. And that's just what Jalen Hurts does. And people hate it. People absolutely hate it. Because he doesn't go out there and throw 5 touchdowns. And he doesn't go out there and throw for 450 yards. And it's not the sexy ESPN highlight type of football. But he wins games. Eagles are undefeated. Cowboys are defeated. Eagles are good. Cowboys suck. We'll see you on the next one.